When ESPN's Lauren Duncan and NBA executive Becky Hammon start speculating on a commissioner's resignation, it's not rumor, it's a signal. Cathy Engelbert's grip on the WNBA is slipping fast, despite record-setting revenue and increased attention. The issue isn't performance, it's trust. Industry insiders point to a chronic failure in how Engelbert engages with those at the league's core, players and owners.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
Now, during the most sensitive stretch of collective bargaining in recent memory, the league's most powerful voices are turning away from her leadership. Behind closed doors, players are leveraging their growing influence to force a shift, not just in salary structures, but in who leads the league into its next phase. The tension is rooted in a deeper truth. Leadership in sports isn't just about numbers. Engelbert's tenure highlights the limits of success built purely on financial metrics. Without trust, without communication, and without the support of the very people who drive the league's identity, even the strongest business plans collapse. The WNBA is preparing for expansion, new media deals, and surging public interest. And insiders know that vision won't survive without someone who can lead from a place of credibility. Engelbert's time may be ending, not because she failed to grow the league, but because she failed to grow with it. Cathy Engelbert walked into the WNBA with a mission to modernize, monetize, and expand. And for a while, it looked like she was pulling it off. Revenue? Up. Ratings? Surging. Attendance? Breaking records. Sponsors? Lining up. The league had never looked shinier from the outside. But inside, the foundation was crumbling. What started as whispers from players and coaches has now escalated into an all-out rejection of Engelbert's leadership. And the biggest headline to come out of the storm? That she allegedly told Caitlin Clark, the breakout star of the season, to leave the WNBA if she wasn't happy. Yes, that Caitlin Clark. The one selling out arenas. The one carrying viewership spikes on her back. The one everyone tuned in to see. That exchange may not have been public, but it lit a fire under already burning tensions. And now, it looks like Engelbert's exit is just a matter of time. Because while the league's public image might be glowing, the internal temperature has hit a boiling point. And nobody's hiding it anymore. Sources from all sides, players, analysts, even NBA execs, are saying the same thing. Her relationships are broken beyond repair. ESPN's Lauren Duncan didn't pull any punches. Becky Hammon from the NBA side has echoed it. These aren't anonymous digs from Twitter trolls. These are respected voices, and they're openly questioning whether Engelbert has any support left. And here's the kicker. The criticism isn't about her business acumen. No one's denying the league has grown under her watch. She brought in sponsors. She secured expansion teams. She got media outlets talking about the WNBA year-round. But when you're in charge of a league built on empowerment and community, numbers aren't the only thing that matter. It's the relationships. And she's lost those. Players don't trust her. Owners don't feel heard. And fans? Fans booed her at the finals. That's not subtle. That's not background noise. That's a full-on statement. It's rare for a commissioner to get that kind of public reaction. And when it happens, it's almost always the beginning of the end. The moment wasn't just awkward. It showed how far the disconnect between Engelbert and the people she's supposed to represent has gone. And now, with the collective bargaining agreement negotiations underway, the players are done playing nice. They've taken control of the moment and are using it to make something clear. Leadership needs to change. This isn't about salaries anymore. This isn't about endorsements or travel logistics. This is about power, about direction, about trust. Doesn't have it. What's happening behind closed doors is even more telling. Insiders say the league is already planning a transition. Quietly, strategically. The idea is to wait until after the CBA is signed to avoid chaos mid-negotiation. But once that's done, it's widely expected that Engelbert will step down or be pushed. Either way, the message is clear. The commissioner's office is about to change hands. And it won't be a soft, celebratory handoff. It'll be a strategic reset. A recognition that while Engelbert may have done her job on the business front, she failed where it mattered most: connection. Because what makes a commissioner effective isn't just bringing in sponsors. It's being trusted by players, respected by owners, supported by fans. It's not about popularity contests. It's about alignment. Engelbert's biggest shortcoming wasn't her resume. It was her inability to build that alignment. And now, the fallout is staring the league in the compilation. Let's not ignore the timing here. The WNBA is on the brink of its most ambitious phase yet. Expansion, new teams, bigger media deals, more visibility. This is the moment where the league either levels up or stumbles. And players know that. Owners know that. Fans know that. Everyone's watching, and leadership matters more than ever. Which is why Engelbert's fractured relationships are such a liability. When your league is moving forward, but your leadership is stuck in the past, something has to give. And it's giving now, loudly. The Caitlin Clark situation only added fuel. She's the biggest draw the league has seen in years. Her presence is part of why ratings are through the roof. If a conversation with the commissioner reportedly turned so sour that she was told to leave, that's a nuclear red flag. It doesn't just show a lapse in judgment. It reveals a deep misread of what the league needs right now. Star players like Clark aren't just athletes. They're leverage. They bring in fans, money, press. Telling her to leave, even in frustration, speaks to a mindset that doesn't value what today's players represent. And for everyone watching from the inside, that moment validated every other concern. This isn't personal. It's structural. It's about what kind of leadership works in 2025 and what doesn't. Engelbert came from corporate America. She was a Deloitte CEO. Her background is numbers, operations, finance. But the WNBA isn't just another business unit. It's a league built on identity, player empowerment, social justice, and cultural relevance. You can't spreadsheet your way through that. You have to engage. And that's where she lost her footing. Because even while the league's metrics were trending upward, the culture wasn't. The sense of mutual respect and transparency was deteriorating. Decision-making felt top-down. Communication felt filtered. Trust eroded. And once that trust is gone, no financial report can fix it. Look at what's happening now. Players aren't just participating in CBA talks. They're steering the conversation. They're putting leadership change on the table, openly. That's not normal. That's a direct response to feeling unheard. And when an entire players' union pivots from policy to personnel, that's a massive shift in tone. It means the players no longer see Engelbert as a neutral figure. They see her as part of the problem. And that perception, it's almost impossible to... Compilation 2. The league's next chapter will need a commissioner who doesn't just understand business, but understands people. Someone who walks into a room and earns respect without needing to flash a title. Someone who players trust, owners collaborate with, and fans believe in. That bar is high. And right now, Engelbert isn't even close. It's not about animosity. It's about evolution. The WNBA is growing up. The league is more visible than ever. The stakes are higher. The spotlight's hotter. And in this era, leadership has to match the moment. Engelbert helped lay a foundation. She brought visibility, sponsors, and infrastructure. That part of her legacy won't be erased. But it won't be enough to save her job either. Because leadership isn't just about building the house. It's about keeping it standing when the winds change. And the winds have changed. So the only question left is when, not if, she exits. And when that day comes, it won't be shocking. It won't even be dramatic. It'll just feel a compilation, because the real story here isn't just about one commissioner. It's about a league that's learned to speak up, take control, and demand more. The WNBA is choosing its future right now. And that future starts with new leadership. Leadership that understands this isn't just a game. It's a movement. Let us know what you think. Did Engelbert do enough to deserve another term? Or has the trust eroded beyond repair? What kind of leadership does the WNBA really need going forward? Hit the comments and tell us your take. And if you want more behind-the-scenes breakdowns of every scandal, meltdown, and corporate implosion, from sports to Hollywood to everywhere in between, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's more chaos to come. All right, let's keep going, because if this saga has proven anything, it's that the drama in the WNBA isn't just on the court. Cathy Engelbert's downfall didn't happen overnight. It wasn't one bad press moment, one awkward handshake, or even that explosive report about her alleged confrontation with Caitlin Clark. It was a slow, simmering collapse of trust that finally boiled over, and now, no one's pretending it can be salvaged. You've got players mobilizing mid-negotiation to not only demand better pay and travel conditions, but to change the leadership entirely. That doesn't happen unless something fundamental is broken. And here's what's really shocking. This is happening during the most successful stretch in league history. Ratings are up. Attendance is up. Visibility is higher than ever. But none of it matters if the league's most valuable stakeholders, its players, feel like they're being ignored or sidelined. The problem with Engelbert isn't about incompetence. No one's saying she didn't do the job on the business end. In fact, that's the one thing everyone agrees on. She brought in the sponsors, she got deals done, she played the corporate game and won. But here's the thing about professional sports. Success isn't measured solely in dollars. It's measured in trust, in culture, in relationships. And Engelbert never figured out how to lead through the league, not just over it. You can't treat a sports league like a quarterly report. You can't view players as just assets. Because when that becomes the tone, from press conferences to private meetings, the people at the heart of it start pushing back. And that's exactly what happened. Let's rewind to the finals. The boos. That moment is still reverberating. Commissioners are supposed to represent stability, vision, connection. So when Cathy Engelbert was introduced and met with boos loud enough to trend on social media, it wasn't just a PR problem. It was a credibility collapse in real time. And it wasn't just the fans. Behind the scenes, multiple team executives reportedly expressed frustration with Engelbert's communication style. Her decisions were seen as top-down, opaque, and occasionally dismissive. Even the owners, who usually back the commissioner as the stabilizing force, began losing confidence. That's when you know it's serious. Because owners don't rock the boat unless the foundation's already shaking. And the players? They didn't just rock it. They grabbed the oars and started steering in the opposite direction. Right now, the players' union is in a historic position of power. The CBA negotiations have become more than just policy talks. They're a referendum on leadership. These players aren't just asking for tweaks. They're making it clear they want someone new at the top. Someone who sees them, hears them, and works with them, not just around them. And let's be honest, Engelbert never truly recovered from the perception that she's more loyal to corporate partners than to the athletes. That's a tough reputation to shake, especially when her biggest public wins are things like sponsorship deals and franchise expansions, while her biggest failures involve strained locker rooms and frustrated stars. Enter Caitlin Clark. When the reported tension between her and Engelbert leaked, it blew the situation wide open. Clark is arguably the most marketable player the league has had in years. She's driving ticket sales. She's driving viewership. She's brought an entirely new audience. And if she's being told to leave if she's not happy, that's not just an HR issue. That's a full-on leadership crisis. Because if that's how the commissioner treats the rising star of the league, what does that say to the rest of the players? That moment, whether it happened behind closed doors or not, became symbolic. It crystallized the criticism Engelbert has faced for months. She's out of touch. She doesn't know how to manage relationships. She's leading a league of people she doesn't actually connect with. Compilation 2, and here's where it gets even more damning. The WNBA isn't just any league. It has a distinct identity. It's built on activism, empowerment, and a sense of collective purpose. Its players are outspoken, engaged, and unified. They're not going to smile through dysfunction. They're not going to keep quiet when things go sideways. And most importantly, they're not going to let poor leadership slide just because the spreadsheets look good. Which brings us to now, the tipping point. The CBA deal, once just another procedural checkpoint, has become the exit ramp for Engelbert. It's clear to everyone involved. Once that deal is finalized, the league is going to need a fresh face, a new direction, and a very different style of leadership. And make no mistake, That transition is already in motion. Sources say there's already talk of finding a successor who can repair relationships with players and owners, someone who can step in, reset the tone, and rebuild the culture from the inside out. Because the next phase of the WNBA isn't just about expansion and revenue. It's about sustainability, about legacy, and that requires leadership that inspires trust, not just capital. So what happens next? Best case scenario for the league. The CBA wraps quietly. Engelbert exits gracefully, and a new commissioner steps in with the full backing of both the players and the board. That would allow the league to enter its next phase with momentum, not more drama. Worst case, the players dig in their heels, the talks stall, the leadership vacuum deepens, and the off-court chaos starts eating away at the on-court progress. Nobody wants that. Not the fans, not the athletes, not the sponsors who've finally started putting serious money behind the WNBA. The clock is ticking, and the league knows it. Because here's the truth that every sports league has to learn eventually. Leadership isn't about who brings in the biggest checks. It's about who people believe in, who they trust to lead when things get messy, who they want in the room when it's time to make the hard calls. Compilation, Engelbert had the opportunity. She was handed the reins at a pivotal time, and she helped bring the WNBA into a new era of visibility. That's not nothing. But visibility without vision, real vision, doesn't last. And now, her time is running out. The fans have spoken. The players have spoken. The insiders are already moving on. The only question left is how the story ends, quietly or in one last messy chapter. Either way, this is no longer just about Cathy Engelbert. It's about what kind of league the WNBA wants to be. A league where leadership is earned through connection, through collaboration, through mutual respect, or a league that allows financial growth to come at the expense of internal decay. Because what's become painfully clear is this. A league can survive without flawless business strategy, but it can't thrive when the very people who built it feel pushed to the margins. Engelbert forgot that, and it's going to cost her everything. The clock's still ticking, and Cathy Engelbert is still technically the commissioner, but it feels like we're all just waiting for the league to make it official. One more statement. One more effective immediately. One more, we thank her for her service. Because everyone watching knows this isn't a leadership situation that's fixable. It's not a rough patch. It's not a bad week. This is a complete breakdown in alignment between the person running the WNBA and the people powering it. The players, the owners, the fans, they've moved on emotionally. The only thing missing now is the compilation too, and it's wild when you think about where the league is. This is supposed to be the victory lap. Attendance is skyrocketing. Viewership numbers are climbing. There's actual, tangible buzz around the WNBA in mainstream media. Players are getting endorsement deals, rookie classes are stacked, and expansion is on the table. This is what Engelbert was brought in to do, grow the business. She did that, but she lost everything else. Because the business of basketball isn't just media deals and sponsorships. It's the emotional connection to the game, the community inside the locker rooms, the loyalty between leadership and players, the sense that the commissioner actually gets it. And Engelbert never really did. That's not speculation. That's what's being said by the people who matter most, on record, on air, and off the record in every insider conversation happening right now. When figures like ESPN's Lauren Duncan and NBA exec Becky Hammond go public with their doubts, that's not a PR issue. That's a power shift. And what they're really saying is this. The league is ready to move forward, and Cathy Engelbert isn't the one to lead it. Even if she doesn't leave tomorrow, she's already lost the locker room. She's lost the court. She's lost the audience. And once that happens, the title commissioner is just words on a press release. The Caitlin Clark controversy may have accelerated this, but it didn't cause it. If anything, it just made everything impossible to ignore. Because telling your most high-profile rookie to leave if she's not happy, that's not just a bad leadership moment. It's a leadership collapse. Even if those words weren't said verbatim, the fact that anyone close to the situation believes they were, that's enough. It confirms what players have suspected all along. that Engelbert's leadership is out of sync with the culture of the league. And let's be clear, Clark isn't just another star. She's the gravitational force bringing new fans, new sponsors, and massive media attention into the league. If even she feels disrespected or dismissed, that signals to everyone else, rookies, veterans, legends alike, that no one is truly valued under the current regime. You don't just lose a player's trust when something like that happens. You lose the trust of the entire roster. And once that domino falls, it's game over. So now the focus shifts. Not on whether Engelbert will leave, but who's next. Because the next commissioner has one job above all: rebuild the bridges Engelbert let burn. That means face-to-face conversations with the players. That means showing up not with a statement, but with real listening. It means making the locker room feel like part of the leadership circle, not a group to be managed from a distance. It also means balancing business success with actual connection. Because yes, the league still needs to grow, still needs the media deals, still needs the partnerships. But the way that growth happens matters. It has to be inclusive. It has to be collaborative. It has to feel like the players are driving the success, not being dragged along behind it. That's the new standard. And honestly, it's overdue. The WNBA has always been about more than basketball. These players have always been more than athletes. They've been activists, trailblazers, community leaders. They're used to fighting for what they deserve, and they're not afraid to speak up when something's broken. They did it during social justice protests. They did it during past CBA talks. And now, they're doing it again. So here we are. The final chapter of Engelbert's tenure is being written in real time. The farewell tour isn't coming with applause. It's coming with silence from owners, criticism from insiders, and full-volume disapproval from fans. It's clear. It's decisive. It's happening. Now the league just has to finish the transition. The players? They've already turned the page. The fans? They've seen enough. The league? It's at a crossroads. And Cathy Engelbert? She may still have the title, but not the authority. So let's hear it from you. Was Engelbert ever the right fit for this league? And who do you think can actually step in and lead with the respect and trust this moment demands? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're here for accountability in sports leadership. And don't forget to subscribe. Because this isn't just a turning point. It's a whole new chapter waiting to be written.